Hi guys, welcome back. So we are still looking at functions and their inverses, guys. I really hope that you've been learning a lot and you already have some questions that you're gonna go back and really look at using your textbooks, the internet, and even your teachers at school. Ask them questions. Don't only believe everything that we tell you. Please question it so that it can make sense to you. Because if you just take it as is, it means you are just cramming it, right? So always just try to question what you are being told, especially if it's a new concept. Anyways, let's just look at the last question that we need to look at now. It's also a question that is adapted from the past papers. We're going to answer this question and then see some theory that we need to throw in there. I will be going through that as I'm trying to solve the question. So let's look at what it is all about. So they're saying here the sketch shows f of x equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, and g of x is equals to that, right? And both these two graphs, they pass through that particular point. This is very important, guys. I promise you there is no way that you can do a graph and they don't tell you which point the graphs are passing through. Firstly, we need to find the value of a, b, and c. To do that, we're going to use the equation y is equals to a into x minus x1 into x minus x2, right? Let's quickly explain what this formula is all about. This x1 and this x2, these are the x-intercepts of the graph, right? And the x-intercepts are normally seen where the graph is intersecting with the axis, which is at 2 and 4 in terms of this graph that we have here, right? And then we don't know what A is because all the three letters need to be found. So I'm just going to substitute my x-intercept and then substitute the point that I was given. So this will be y is equals to a into x minus x1 into x minus x2. That's the very first thing I need to do. You substitute y is equals to a into x minus, this is 2 and then x minus 4, right? And then I have a point 1 and 3, so this will just be y is equals to, not y, because already I'm substituting what that is. So this will be 3 is equals to a into 1 minus 2 into 1 minus 4, right? And then this will be 3 is equals to, my a here will be 1 minus 2 is minus 1, minus 3 is a positive 3. So this will be 3a, and therefore a is equals to 1. So already I know I can say y is equals to 1 into x minus 2, x minus 4. If you FOIL this out, then it will give you your a, b, and c. Already we know a, right? We just need the b and the c. So this will be y is equals to x squared minus, this is just going to be 6x, and then lastly it will be plus 8, right? By the way, I hope you guys are clear on how to go about foiling this. I know by now you need to be familiar with that. It will be a is equals to 1, then b is equals to minus 6, and then c is equals to 8. Because you will need to write them down because the question wanted you to determine the values, right? So 1 minus 6 and 8. So let's just remember it's 1 minus 6 and 8. I will be writing them as we move along so that we are clear as soon as we need to use the equation. Now we need to find the value of k. You just need to substitute the point now here. You just need to substitute the point, right? So to substitute the point, or before we look at the inverse, substituting this point, it will be 3 is equals to k to the exponent of 1. So k to the exponent of 1 is just k. Therefore, k is just equals to 3, right? Now, 1 minus 6, 8, and 3. Now, there's more things that you need to remember. So this is positive 1 minus 6, 8, and then this is going to be 3, right? Now, if h of x is equals to the inverse of g of x, we need to write down this equation, right? H of x is the inverse of g of x. Just remember, to actually go about doing this, you need to interchange. So y equals to x. So this becomes x is equals to 3 to the exponent of y, and then remember to label your points. This is my exponent, and this is my base, and this is my number. And you know, just to remember what a log is about, it's exponent equal to the log of the number and then the base down there. You see, so you just need to please remember those. So this simply means it will be y is equals to log of x base 3, right? Some people claim that you just write y is equals to log and then you drop this, right? You just make it a bit low. That's just cramming, guys. Please don't try and think about such things, right? Although, yes, it's a shortcut, but it does not give you the sense of where does this come from. So please make sure you understand it's all about reflecting about the line y equal to x. And then you need to determine the range of f of x. Remember, the range of f of x, this will be the y values, right? The y values. And the y values of this normally start, right? Because this is a happy face. Remember, this is 1 minus 6 and then 8. So this is a happy face, as you can see. This is normally the minimum value, right? Which is y minimum. So in simple terms, our range is always going to be y is greater or equals to the minimum value at all times. So we quickly need to find what our minimum value is here. And to do that, we need to find the turning point in simple terms, right? So what do we know? We know that our, since it's 2 and 4 there, our x value there for the turning point will just be the average of those two values. But the proper equation to do this will be x is equals to minus b over 2a, and this will be equals to minus into minus 6, and then over 2 into 1, and this will simply just be 3, right? And then now I need the y minimum value, so I must substitute the 3. So to do that, this will be f of 3, which is equals to 1 into 3 squared minus 6 into 3 plus 8. Just remember the values of a, b, and c, right? And this 3 squared will be 9 minus 18, because 6 times 3 is 18. That will give me minus 9. Then plus the 8 there will give me minus 1. So my range will be y is greater or equals to minus 1. So let's quickly just talk about this. For me to find the range of a parabola, I need the turning point of the parabola. The turning point, I don't need the whole thing, right? It's just unfortunate that I can't really find the y turning point without getting the x turning point, unless I complete the square, but that's a longer process. So you just find the x turning point, substitute it, get the y turning point, and then you are fine. So if it's a third phase, it's y is less or equals to the maximum point, which is normally the turning point value of y. And then if it's a happy phase like this one that we just have now, it will be the minimum. So from the minimum going upwards, that will be my range. And then you know, domain is always just the concept of x is an element of real numbers. So let's just look at a few other questions that we quickly have here. We need the axis of symmetry of this, right? So remember, the axis of symmetry of the graph is normally going to be given to us as x is equals to minus b over 2a, which you would have done in the previous question, which is just 3, right? So it's normally x equal to 3. You write it as an equation, right? So please just remember that. Now explain why the inverse of f of x is not a function, right? Remember, the reason for this is because a vertical line test, right, line will cross the graph at 2 points, cross or intersect. Let's actually use the mathematical terms, which is intersect the graph at 2 points. At 2 points, right? As it moves from left to right. That's why it's not a function, right? Because it's just going to be something like this. So if you draw a vertical line, it will be at that point and at that point. Now, what do we now need to do in order to make it the inverse to be a function? Then what you will simply need to do is to restrict the domain, right? So it will be to restrict your domain, which is the x, restrict x, right? That's why they are specifically asking you about the values of x. So in simple terms, this will be either x is going to be greater or equal to 0, or you can say x is less or equal to 0. You can choose either one of the two. Now, just to summarize what we've looked at, guys, this is a relation that can be considered a function if one input value has exactly one output value. And then an inverse is normally obtained by reflecting about y equal to x. And then remember, a graph can only have an inverse if it is a function. Guys, this is really, really, really too much information that I hope you manage to take down, and you will be able to use it at a later stage. But from me to you, remember, this is the end of our lesson. I've looked at the concepts and what they are all about, and then some questions from this. So please try find more questions, apply what we've looked at, consult your textbooks, your teachers, and the internet itself. But from me to you, remember, mathematics is food for the soul. Until next time.